welcome to a first impression series called Will This Catch Me? Something like that. So, will Rains catch me? In other words, will Rains catch my attention for an ADHD person and hold it longer than a few seconds? This is a game called Reigns, like I said before. It's a decision-making game in which you try to manage those those bars at the top, in order to properly. You try to manage those bars as long as possible. Try to keep them from going too high or too low, until you until and just reign for as long as you possibly can. Sorry, I'm stuttering. So for every decision you make, you reign for 1 year, and when one of those bars finally gets either too high or too low, then you eventually just die. Now, what you're seeing currently now is a separate mechanic of the game. There's like a dungeon crawler, which also has this neat little battle mini game into it. The dungeon crawlers is something that kind of happens every so often as part of the decision making. You'll say yes or no about your people are like, oh, there's a crypt and I need someone to investigate, and you get to investigate it. And if you investigate, you go through the dungeon, try to find the key to get out, and you could possibly die in it. And also on the screen right now, you're seeing the little battle mechanic associated with that, where you say like yes or no to certain these statements, and depending on what you say, you'll either move backwards if you say no, or move forwards and attempt an attack if you say yes. And depending on your timing or what the enemy might do, you may win or you may die, as you see there. So it's kind of interesting. Saying yes moves you forward towards the enemy, and saying no moves you backwards. It's like this little strategic dance that you little do. And that's basically what the dungeon call is. You go through the different rooms, there's traps, you say yes or no, and you'll find different things in them, you know? But that about covers it for that part of the game. I'm that part is kind of interesting for me, but well, you don't expect this to be very detailed. I mean, I'm just telling you about the things that I like and don't like. And if I don't get in the nitty gritty and all the little basics, it's because maybe I wasn't interested in it. And that's basically what the series is. This is what interested me in this game, and these are the other parts that I didn't find as interesting, so I won't talk about them as much. But as you can see here, right now I'm doing the main part of the game, and that's the decision making. A person comes up on screen, or a bird in this case, gives you a decision, and depending on yes or no, there will be bars that will raise or lower. And you can kind of sort of figure it out, but in other cases, a lot of this game I feel like comes down to memorization and just realizing, okay, if I say this decision, these bars will go up and down. If I say this decision, these bars will go up and down. And that is a kind of a basic game mechanic, but I find it interesting mainly what I find interesting is not really the managing of the bars, because that is the thing you have to do. Because if you're religious, you're a relationship with the priest, relationship with the people, your military strength, your money get too high or too low. Different something bad will happen for each if it's too high or too low. You would think high would be good, but at max you still lose in some fashion. Your reign ends, and the point is to reign for as long as possible. And so it's a matter of balancing the bars. And while in some games you want to manage things as best, in some games you want to get things as high as possible. In this game, sometimes you don't always want to make the decision that would necessarily help everyone, because you need to manage the bars. So you end up saying no to people who need help with a famine because your people bar is about getting too high. And sometimes decisions you make will often lock bars, and then you have one less bar to manage. I think it's not really so. Like I said, it's not really the bar management that interests me in this game. Really, what it was kind of the different story elements, and the fact that as you make decisions, you'll see those check marks in the bottom right corner. There's also goals you fulfill, and every time you fulfill a goal, you unlock more cards, and more cards means more decisions. More decisions means more things that happen, and more things that happen means more story elements to this overall kingdom management. And in the background of all of it, there seems to be this whole story with a deal with the devil that you're trying to manage. And it's so interesting to me. And the story, oh, it is, excuse me, is so intriguing. I was using on the screen that some decisions can cause your bar to constantly lower, and sometimes decisions cause your bar to constantly raise, depending on what those decisions are. You'll notice at the bottom that there are several little icons, like a barn, a dice, and a moon. These also affect those bars. They give you like little bonuses that help you depending on what you do that will influence the game in positive or negative ways. I believe the loaded dice lets you win in all like the gambling ones, and the barn will just helps your overall uh market or something. I can't remember exactly. And you'll notice this has this interesting medieval vibe. It's like when I do the thing for like some of the women who like stop hurting women, well the church doesn't really care for preserving women, and so by helping the woman, the church gets mad. But then by helping the church, then helping the church gets is happy. But then that might make the people upset, and it's this interesting balance that I just, like I said, I find it intriguing. And that is basically what the game is. You say yes or no to decisions. Huh. Pardon me. You say yes or no to decisions. There are a lot of different elements of people who like fortune tellers or other people where the devil appears. You have the dungeon crawling aspect, and all these other elements besides the instrument that make the game kind of interesting. You kind of never know what's going to happen next. You have to manage the bars in such a way that will keep it um, you from not losing. And as you see, I just lost there, almost lost. Got one more chance at it, and I ended up making religious authority too high. They want to kill me, so I have to run away. In some instances, you just die, and then I'm gonna go through the dungeon thing again. But like I said, the bars are too low. Either you lose in some way or you die, and that's basically the game. And as you go through it, like I say, with each death becomes a new king, and you have to see how long you can reign with that king. But even when a king comes, the bonuses you've already developed persist, like an actual kingdom thing would. You know, you get the bonuses, the next king comes along, those bonuses are still in place because the previous king made these bonuses, which is very interesting until you make a decision that causes them to disappear. And that's the point of it. And supposedly something's going to happen a few hundred years in the line. I'm not quite sure. We'll see, actually. Because I've noticed this little theme of things happening. But anyway, that's the game Reigns. It's very basic, but for something very basic, I found it interesting enough to play a few rounds here and there. I can actually see this probably being on mobile. I would not mind having this game on mobile and just be able to carry it with me and, taking my finger, maybe swipe to the left or right to make decisions. That'd be interesting to me. I could take this game with me and I'd have a lot of fun with it. But that's Reigns for you. It's $3 and I died in the dungeon. Played the death on the filthy dungeon floor. The king is dead. Long live the king. That about covers it. Reigns, ladies and gentlemen. It's available. You can get it for $3. It's not expensive. And it maintains a decent few rounds of attention if you're bored. I can see it, like I said, being better on mobile. But it is what it is. Anyway, thanks you guys for watching this. I hope to do more of these kinds of videos because this is pretty cool to me. It's first impression. I get to check out games I may never normally check out, and that may be a cool thing. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.